G'day Darkrealmers. Just before we get into today's video, I quickly wanted to mention my Patreon page. If you'd like to help support the Diaries and help it grow, and if you'd like to also help me as a horror author to bring you some more great horror stories, then please check out my Patreon page for some great benefits. You'll be able to find the link to my Patreon page right there in the descriptions. Thanks guys.
G'day Darkrealmers, it's horror author and illustrator Michael J. Elliott here with you again today. Now I know what you've been thinking, where has he been? Well, I've been busy launching my new novelette Final Harvest, but now all the Final Harvest launch is finished, I'm back with you with some more great movie reviews. And today we're going to be taking a look at the fashion industry, but not in a nice sort of strike a pose way, but more in a psychologically horrifying way, because today we're going to be looking at Neon Demon. Yeah! Well, Darkrealmers, this movie was written and directed by Nicholas Winding Renf, and he was the director of Drive and Only God Forgives, and these were two commercial and critical successes. And there's one thing studios will almost guarantee: if you're a director that gives them a hit, they will let you do your own thing, and this is very much his own personal movie, written and directed by him. But before I get into it and give you a few more details, let's check out the trailer for your enjoyment.
I see 20 or 30 girls come in here every day. From small towns with big dreams. Some girls crack under the pressure. You're going to be great.
What's it feel like? You walk into a room, it's like in the middle of winter. You're the sun.
It's everything. You know what my mother used to call me? Dangerous. You're a dangerous girl. She was right. I am dangerous.
Now this movie stars Elle Fanning, who plays Jessie, who's a young ingenue who heads to Los Angeles to become a model and find success under the big lights. And the first scene we get in this movie is of Jessie lying on a couch covered in blood, and because it's so still, we're thinking, oh my God, what is this? This woman's been murdered, But as it slowly unfolds this scene, we find out that she's been photographed, for her portfolio, and that very much sets up, the tone of the movie Darkrealmers. Now, in the next scene, when she's getting her makeup off, she meets Ruby, who's a part-time makeup artist, who we see later on actually gets to practice her craft down at the mortician's, doing up the bodies, okay? And straight away, this woman creeped me out. I mean, she hadn't done anything, she hadn't at that point said anything. I just got this overwhelming, very predatory. And I read some reviews where there were criticisms about the stilted dialogue between these two. Hi, have you been here long? Long pause. No. Oh, where are you? But to me, it just added to the tension. and there was something not quite right about Ruby. She was being helpful, but you just were straight on edge. Now that's great. You know, for such a short scene where there's nothing much said about hi. You know, it's all soap and bubbles and nothing much, but a great intensive feeling of oh, watch out, girl. And when Ruby invites her to a party, straight away you get the feeling, no, this is bad. This is really dangerous. There's something about, we don't even know about this party. We've got no idea what sort of party it is. And all Ruby says, pardon me, Darkrealmers, when Jess asked her, she goes, what sort of party? She said, well, the fun kind, of course. Well, there at this party, she meets two models, and straight away there's tension, there's bitchiness, and Jess is so, at this point, so innocent and naive that she just lets these sort of snide comments slide all over her. And it's wonderful because these two models are total bitches, and they look at her as a threat. Even back then, before she's secured any sort of work or anything like that, they can see that she's got something. And Jessie does actually land a contract, even though she says she's 16. Now, she's living in a motel room, and one of the actors in here is Keanu Reeves, and surprise, surprise, he's playing a baddie this time, and he's very creepy. He is a you know, real sleaze. You can tell he's got designs on Jess, and there is a really disturbing scene in that I won't tell you about, Darkrealmers, but involves him. And but as the movie progresses, we see this transformation of Jess as she becomes this shy sort of, you know, yes ma'am, no ma'am, to this stunning model who exudes confidence and exudes talent. But this movie also says a lot about our preoccupation with beauty and staying young, you know, at any cost, Darkrealmers. Now, there's a scene in here where there are models, and they are going for some sort of, you know, shoot or to be included in something, and they're down just sitting there in their bras and panties, and you get this overwhelming feeling that this is just a meat market, okay, because they get called up, do a line, walk back, thank you, and you think, why did, you know, unless this is an underwear, you know, shoot, which it isn't, by the way, why do these women have to parade themselves semi-naked? There's that strong sense that this industry feeds on itself, and the higher you get and the more success you get, the higher, you know, the quicker you'll fall. Very well done like that, Darkrealmers. And as the movie progresses, it gets much, much darker. You know, Ruby declares that, you know, she's a lesbian, and that you know, come on, let's get together, Jess. And Jess says, no, I don't want to. There's also Gigi, who is one of the other older models, who is extremely jealous of her, and the other models, and their hatred and their intensity against Jess, and their determination to get rid of her because they need to cling on to the top spot. They need to still be in the industry. And there's a line in the movie somewhere where one of the girls, I think it's Jess, is actually getting made up, and one of them says, you know, oh, I haven't seen so and so around for a while, you know. Well, of course, you know, she's getting too old for this. You know, she's over the hill. Oh, and the makeup artist says, how old is she? She's 24. Oh, my God. And that hits you. That really hits you, how disposable this industry is. How, you know, shallow, and how it's all about looks. It's about getting that look there and then discarding it. You know, next please. It's a frightening indictment, not only on the fashion industry and what goes on, maybe not to this degree to Darkrealmers, you know, obviously, but you know, very much our perception of beauty at all costs. And that's why I recommend this movie to you, Darkrealmers. Now, the ending is very dark and very twisted, and I can't give you spoilers because it's one of those movies where you can make up your own mind about it. I found it a little bit confusing, okay, because, and it'll all tie together with the previous scene. But a lot of the reviewers at IMDb said, look, it got a bit silly, it got a bit strange. Now, I think Nicholas Winding Renf obviously knows what the ending it was intending, or what he was intending with that ending. So you'll have to make up your own minds about it. But this is a movie that will not so much frighten you, but put you on edge. It will creep you out, because the performances are just brilliant, especially by Jess, who you see from start to finish how she changes, how she gets into the industry, how she becomes like these other women, even though she holds on to that modicum of still being that young girl, how the industry changes her. And if you don't bitch with the best of them, you get out bitched. All right, Darkrealmers, very dark. It's more, as I said, a psychological thriller rather than a horror. But if you're looking for something intelligent, now the best way I can describe this to you, Darkrealmers, because it is it's a very complex plot and very a very deep sort of, you know, tapestry with the characters and everything like that. But think art house. Think art house, where you're expected to do a lot of the work as a viewer. Okay, but I didn't find it hard going at all. I found it fascinating, and as I said, the moment, you know, that we get the first shot, the director says, hey, this is what you're going to get, and this is what you can expect. The characters are all great. So I highly recommend that to you, Darkrealmers. Now, you can get this movie on DVD and Blu-ray. It's also available on streaming services, and I saw it on Netflix, and I'm sure it's available on other streaming services. So be sure to check that one out, Darkrealmers. So I'll leave you with that. I hope you've enjoyed my review of Neon Demon, and if you have, let me know what you think in the comments below. And if this is your first visit to the Diaries, you know, please hit that subscribe button and give us a like. We really appreciate it. All right, Darkrealmers, well, this is Michael J. Elliott signing off once again, and I'm just going to say, if you're going to get into the fashion industry, make sure when you're on the catwalk that all the lights are on, and stay in the light, okay? Bye for now.